Okay, just got off work. Canucks Summer Showcase is happening in about an hour and a half. Hopefully I'll have enough time to get down there so I can watch the warm-up. I'm meeting up with my friend, Brendan, and yeah, I'm gonna try something a bit new this time. I'm gonna try vlogging this. It's a bit weird. How's it going? That's a guy in the car behind me. I'm gonna be super awkward on camera, but whatever. This could be interesting. Yeah, I think I'm missing one thing. Here we go, much better. Let's go. And I'm stuck in that Clark Drive traffic. Okay, just dropped off my car. And then I guess I'm getting on the SkyTrain to go to Rogers Arena. The irony.
What's up?
Hey, how's it going?
Number 52, Jett Woo. Starting with the goaltenders, number 75, Michael Dipietro.
Okay, back from Rogers Arena. Kind of forgot to film, if I'm going to be completely honest. Kind of got just caught up in the moment. And part of that, I guess I'll just kind of go through what my experience was like at the Canucks Summer Showcase. It was honestly a lot of fun. Really happy I went. And so one of the reasons I thought I would, once I got to the arena, I got there at 6, half an hour before the puck was supposed to drop, and I thought I would be able to vlog a bit there, do some B-roll, catch up on some of that stuff while I got my tickets and wait for my friend. But I ended up meeting this guy named Ben, a UBC student. Shout out to Ben if you're watching this. He had seen some of my videos before, and we just started talking. So that was really, really cool. Honestly, that might have made the going to the showcase worth it. Like if that had been the only thing that cool that happened, but so much more happened. A good little segue is apologies for filming in my car. I want to kind of just get this out of my head, not out of my head, but it's fresh in my head. I'd like to speak about what are my thoughts on the game, the experience, as quickly as possible. So I'm literally sitting down just as I got back to my car. So I want to say apologies for being in a car. Not that that's bad, because, well, CanuckClay, he does this a lot. He talks, he vlogs from his car, and I was actually able to meet up with another founder of the GLCPC, the Good Looking Canuck Positivity Club, and that was really, really cool getting to meet Clay. Really, really nice guy. Wasn't really sure what to expect. I mean, he seems very, very nice in his videos, but guys, I can tell you in person, he's everything and more. Exactly as he comes across in his videos. Very, very, very nice guy. Funny, well-spoken. So it was, Clay, it was great to finally meet you in the flesh, and hopefully we get to do more meetups and maybe collaborate and do some other things in the future. So yeah, just those two interactions right there, that was super cool and made going really worth it. Especially I got to hang out with my friend Brendan, who we play hockey together. We're pretty good high school friends. So just those kind of interactions right there alone made going to this event really worth it for me. But of course, there was the hockey side to it as well. Oh, I should also mention, as I was going in to the gates, I actually had the wrong gate. I was supposed to go into gate 7, but I went into gate 3. But as I was getting told off that I wasn't allowed to enter through gate 3, another person recognized me and said, "Hey, I watch your videos, man. You make good stuff." And I guess I was a little awkward about it because my friend was there, and I'm new to this. I don't really know how to react to that, so I just kind of went, thank you, and kind of walked away. But if you're watching this video as well, thank you very much for just saying what's up. I really appreciate that. I think that's super cool. Hopefully next time I won't be as awkward. Yeah, I'm not used to public situations like that, especially when I'm holding a camera. But with that being said, let's get into my actual thoughts on the stuff that I saw at today's Canucks Summer Showcase. And of course, I just realized that all of that was out of focus, so hopefully that wasn't too bad. I apologize. Now it should be in focus. But with that being said, first I'd like to talk about the first player that stood out to me was number 80 on Team White, Jack Rathbone. He's a guy that I've been very curious about ever since we've drafted him. Last year in the 4th round, he spent another year playing for Dexter in the U.S. high school system. A lot of that was, I believe, to stay closer to his brother, but now for next year, he is committed to Harvard, playing against some tougher competition, and man, oh man, did he looked really, really good out there. It looked like he had a year up on a lot of the other prospects there, but there were also college players there. There was some 95-born, 96-born players, and he looked like, honestly, I would say Rathbone looked like the best defenseman out there. He's another guy who was pegged as a really good skater coming into his draft, and I think that really, really showed. Just the way that he was able to keep up with oncoming attacking players. And there was one really good defensive play that I saw out of him where he rode a player into the boards and stripped him of the puck, which I thought was a little surprising, as I didn't think that was a really part of his game, but he executed that play very, very well. But what really stood out to me with Rathbone was his transitional skating, the way he could stop his backward momentum and transition that into some forward momentum as he skates back up the ice, oftentimes with the puck, and he looked very, very dangerous with the puck, skating in across the blue line, using his reach to shield the puck and his strong crossovers to drive to the net. He had one play in particular where he was coming in off of the left wing wall, and he just drove to the net, cut to the middle, and just, I think he hit the post, or Michael Dipietro made a great save on him. But honestly, Rathbone looked very, very strong. Very excited to see what he can do in the NCAA next year. Next player on Team White, honestly, Team White played a very, very strong game. I guess I should go into that a bit. I don't exactly remember the lineups, but basically all you really have to know is it was Quinn Hughes versus all. On the blue team, it was Michael Dipietro, Quinn Hughes. I got the pamphlet here. There really wasn't too much else on that team. I thought actually Ben Copeland had a pretty strong game. He was another camp invite. Don't really know too much about him. He scored a nice goal. He looked pretty fast out there. He was maybe the only forward that really stood out to me on Team Blue. I don't want to get too much into this right now, but so yeah, for Team Blue, it was really just Quinn Hughes, Michael Dipietro, and I guess you could even throw in Josh Teves, a guy at Providence in the NCAA last year who was a defenseman, almost a point a game. I was also very curious to see how he would play. I guess I'll briefly talk about Josh Teves, as I won't go too in depth on him, but he looked like he was one of the older ones out there, to be honest, with his game that looked a lot more clean, composed, good skater, good first pass, nothing special. And he formed the top pairing with Quinn Hughes. On the White side is really where it seems like they stacked the team. They had Petrus Palmu and Tyler Madden, Kole Lind, Tanner MacMaster, Tyler Soy, Toni Utunen, Jack Rathbone, Jett Woo. They seemed pretty stacked. So yeah, sorry, the video's all over the place, but Jack Rathbone I thought stood out very much to me. He looked very, very good. The next player that I'll talk about was Kole Lind, who honestly looked like a man amongst boys out there. He's a lot bigger than I thought he would be when I watched him skating in person, and I don't think his acceleration is that good, but once he gets to top speed, there's no stopping him, at least in this game when you're playing with a bunch of some younger players. But he looked very, very strong with the puck, composed. There was he scored off of a 3-on-1, which I joked about with my buddy. It was basically a 3-on-1 with, I think, Rathbone and Tyler Madden, and he was not thinking pass. He was thinking shoot all the way, and if you don't score on a 3-on-1 without passing, you kind of look like a dick, but it worked out for him. He scored. It was a beautiful snipe on Dipietro, top right corner, off the rush, and that's his bread and butter. That's the thing that he was known for coming into his draft. He's very, very good at coming in off the rush, in stride, and shooting in stride and going top corner, picking his spot, and it looks like it's gotten even better. So I'm very, very excited to see what Kole Lind can do come training camp, and most likely in Utica to start the year. The other thing that he did very well was I thought he had very, very good chemistry with Tyler Madden, a guy I'll get into right after this. But Kole Lind, I think, is also a very underrated playmaker. He was able to find open guys. He would use his body to protect the puck and wait out defenders until the lane opened and then found the open man. A couple no-look passes to Tyler Madden. I thought those two had a very, very strong game together. So, Tyler Madden, he's another guy that I was very much looking forward to watching, as these guys in the USHL and the USHS, there's not a lot of coverage of them before and going into the draft. So this was really my first real big look at Tyler Madden, and quite honestly, I'm impressed. Like I see what they see in him a little bit. Definitely he's on the smaller end. I think he's only 5'10", 150, and he definitely looked like he was 150 out there, but that didn't stop him. The thing I really, really liked about Tyler Madden was he just found, he has a knack for finding open pockets of ice in the offensive zone, and I think that's a really special quality. He seemed to meet the puck before the puck got there. A lot of times you'd think that maybe the puck is following around the player, but really that's not the case. He just knows where the puck is going to be, and he's 2 steps ahead of it. And for me, that was very eye-opening to see that type of high hockey IQ in a third-round pick. So that was very, very, very motivating. Not a good omen is what I'm trying to say. Then again, like I said, he had good chemistry with Kole Lind, and Kole Lind found him a lot of times when Tyler Madden was open. He scored a great goal from the slot, I believe. Oh, it was Petrus Palmu that. Yeah, it was Petrus Palmu that assisted on that one. But yeah, Tyler Madden, he had good speed coming in through the neutral zone. I liked his hands. He had a great finish on his goal. So yeah, I definitely think the Canucks have something in Tyler Madden just based off of his hockey IQ. And I also thought he's shifty. He was able to win the odd board battle, not by using, that's a fire truck ambulance, I'm sorry. But yeah, so Tyler Madden, I think I'm more okay with the pick now after watching him again. This is only an inter-squad prospect game, but I'm very excited to see what he can do in college next year. I forget where he's playing next year. It might be Providence, or it's Northeastern. He's going to Northeastern, of course. So yeah, the next guy from Team White, Petrus Palmu. Man, obviously he looked like he had played in the professional league the last year, because he was probably heads and shoulders above everyone else out there, save for maybe Kole Lind. He really is built like a fire hydrant. Being able to see him live out there, he's basically he's a head and then a body, no neck. He's stocky, very, very hard to knock off the puck. I was very impressed at his strength on his skates in the corners. He opened the scoring. It was off of a big rebound from Dipietro. Or no, actually, I think it went off Quinn Hughes right to Petrus Palmu at the opposite circle. And he fired a one-timer that got through Dipietro's legs. But what I was really impressed about Palmu was his ability to, in the offensive zone at least, retrieve the puck, use his low center of gravity to retrieve the puck from bigger players, use his body and his skating ability to protect the puck, control the puck, take his time and find the open man or make the best play available to him, which I think a lot of it comes from just him playing in a men's professional league, him being 21, him being a lot older than some of these other guys that were on the ice, but he already does play a very polished game. And I think his game does translate to North American ice, as he's very good in tight little corners. And he's not going to get knocked off the puck. Like, sure, he's 5'7", but he's 180 with a low center of gravity. I think he's going to be a very, very good, at least AHL player for the Utica Comets. And I'd love to see him have a shot up with the Vancouver Canucks sometime this year when injuries inevitably hit. So yeah, Petrus Palmu, another guy that I was happily surprised by with his play today. 1 goal, 1 assist. Again, he had that great feed to Tyler Madden in the slot as well. He's also not the quickest guy, but I think he's got acceptable NHL speed. So yeah, he's just a guy that's going to have to continue to hone his game down in the AHL, and I honestly think he's going to be a very nice middle six, bottom six player for the Canucks. The last forward that I'll talk about is Tanner MacMaster, who I believe he signed an AHL contract with the Utica Comets last year, and now he has a full NHL contract, two-way contract with the Vancouver Canucks this year. I know a lot of Canucks Army guys, they really liked his game last year and thought he'd be a dark horse to make the Canucks out of camp this year. Now with the free agent signings, I don't know if that's really in the picture, but I really did enjoy his game as well. Yes, he's a 96 born, so that makes him 22. So definitely one of the older players out there, and it showed, but I really liked his effort. Also his awareness away from the puck in the offensive zone really stood out to me. That surprised me a lot. I'm pretty sure he had... Yes, I know he had at least one goal where he stripped the puck from Adam MacMaster and was in alone on a breakaway and showed off some nice hands and some soft hands for a nice finish top shelf. So yeah, Tanner MacMaster is another guy that I think, not necessarily an NHL player, but he is a nice find for at least a top six role with the Utica Comets, and you can... Honestly, getting guys like that for free as a free agent who's young, that play the game the right way, that are hungry, that are motivated, that show the work effort needed to push some of the other players, I think really, really nice find there by Ryan Johansson and the rest of the Utica Comets. And I'm excited to watch his progress in Utica. I don't think he's going to be a 40, 50-point player down in the AHL, but I wouldn't be surprised if he put up 30 points next year, depending on the role that Trent Call gives him. So, defensemen, we'll start off with Toni Utunen on Team White. I think he was number 52 or something like that. I'm planning on making a video on Toni Utunen. I was planning on making a video on Toni Utunen before the draft even, because he was one of my dark horses that I thought was actually going to be a very interesting pick in the mid-rounds, because when I watched him at the U18s, he stood out to me every shift in a good way. He captained the U18 Finnish team. He's not a sexy pick. It's interesting. The Canucks now, with their mantra of speed and skill going into the amateur drafts, don't ask me why they don't incorporate that same mantra into the professional scouting. That's a discussion for another day, but at least with their speed and skill at their amateur drafts, it's interesting to see that guys like Toni Utunen are kind of the new safe pick in the NHL, as in that they can skate well and they're smart players. Not a lot of skill, but at least they're not like those 6'3" big defensemen or big forwards that are slow and just are grinders. Like, those are no longer the grinders in the NHL. The grinders in the NHL now are going to be hard workers, good skaters, smart hockey players. Those are the guys that you want to fill up your bottom six with. And to me, Toni Utunen as a bottom pairing defenseman, I like the idea of it. He kind of reminds me of a less skilled Troy Stecher, I guess. Maybe that's not a great comparison. I'll have to come back to that one. Don't hold me to the Troy Stecher comparison. Maybe I'm just kind of comparing that mainly because of skating ability and their height. But Stecher is definitely the more talented player. And Troy Stecher's work ethic, I mean, there's no one else on the Canucks like that. But Toni Utunen, again, not a sexy pick. He won't wow you with the puck skills, with his shot. A lot of the clips that you've been seeing out of development camp from this week, you didn't really notice him. And if anything, he kind of, from what I've heard, looked like he struggled on some of the drills and some of the skating and skill drills. But when you got him into a game situation, I thought he was quietly one of the better defensemen out there. He was always in the right place, right time, good positionally. His skating didn't hinder him. I thought it was one of his strengths to kind of I saw him jump up in the rush a lot to join in and receive a pass in the slot, and his skating also allowed him to get back defensively and responsibly in his position. And he made multiple good first passes. I think just the way he thinks the game, it's a very complete game. He plays almost like an old man style of game. He's not going to be flashy, but he's one of those guys that you'll like to have on the squad. Just the fact that he plays reliably in his own end. He'll be able to get the puck out of his own zone, not necessarily by skating. but by just being in the right place at the right time, taking on some of that forechecking pressure, and then either distributing it to his partner or to a winger or center and start the rush the other way. And I think that's maybe where you'll see most of his points, not so much from the offensive zone, from his shot, or from his passing ability, but from his transition game, which is why I think the Canucks drafted him, and it's something that the Canucks definitely do need in their pipeline. I mean, you have Jalen Chatfield, Guillaume Brisebois, that's about it in sort of that realm of transitional defensemen. As far as true, only one-dimensional transitional defensemen, and I think Utunen could be kind of that guy that you feel comfortable putting out there in any situation, even if he's only your bottom six, your bottom pairing defender. So again, very interesting pick. I was really happy when we drafted him because he's at least a guy that I had heard of and I had scouted a bit, which is kind of cool in the 5th round. You don't really, when you get to those rounds, you don't really know anything about those players. So the fact that the Canucks actually drafted a guy that I was somewhat familiar with is just kind of an extra bonus for me, at least. And I think, yeah, he's gonna play again in the Finnish Pro League Liga, and I'm excited to see what he's gonna do there. He's probably going to be a fancy stats guy more than a guy that you see on the normal box sheet, on the boxcar stats. But I'm okay with that. If you've got guys like Quinn Hughes, Olio Levy, and Toni Utunen on the left side, those are all guys that break the puck out well, and that's going to be very, very beneficial to the Canucks and the forwards that we have coming up, like Brock Besser, like Elias Peterson, Jonathan Dahlin, list goes on. You know, well, man, we do need some more. We need a lot of everything, but it is nice to see that the left side is coming together, and especially with some of the other guys like Guillaume Brisebois, Derek Pouliot, Ben Hutton. Those last two, I don't know, but you're definitely starting to see a bit of a future plan there. Next, let's talk about an already fan favorite, Jett Woo. Jett Woo. That was cringe. I'm sorry. But yeah. Every time, like when Jett Woo was announced in the opening at the beginning of the game, everyone was going woo. I'm gonna stop doing that for the vlog. But man, it was fun. He's gonna bring some just excitement back to Rogers Arena, which is, again, from like a winning hockey standpoint, I don't know. That's not really the best, but as far as a fan favorite, I think he's already a fan favorite just because of the name and the way he laid a big body check. And the crowd was saying his name. It was just a lot of fun to just get the crowd going like that. As far as his actual play on the ice, nothing special. Honestly, I didn't really notice him too much. He had one shift in the offensive zone where he held onto the puck for a good amount of time, created some time and space for himself, but didn't really do too much with it offensively. And then he also threw a hit when it was 4-on-4 in the offensive zone. It was a nice big hit. It was a crunch. That brought a lot of cheers from the crowd. It really is a lot of fun going woo in Rogers Arena. Like, I can already imagine. So he's going to be a Bieksa type player for sure, as far as crowd favorites. Maybe not 40-point Bieksa. But I hate to say it, but him laying the body there, that took himself out of the play, and the blue team went back the other way and scored. So again, hitting's great and all. You just gotta pick your spots. I think in the defensive zone, I didn't really notice him too much, which is probably a good thing. I don't think I saw him get scored on too much. His skating looked decent. Not great. Not bad. Yeah, I mean, Jett Woo is Jett Woo. Watching him today didn't really change my opinion of him from the draft. Again, I'm behind on all my draft reaction videos. I gotta get out a bunch of videos on Tyler Madden, Jett Woo, Toni Utunen, Manukian, Matthew Thiessen. Did we draft one other guy? I can't remember. I'm drawing a blank right now. I'm not sure if that's all of them. I think that's all of them. Was that 6? Anyway, I gotta get those out. But yeah, so I guess briefly my thoughts on Jett Woo at the time of the pick was, okay, I understand why you picked him, but I think there were some maybe higher upside potential guys on the board still. I don't hate the pick. I like what Jett Woo brings. He's assistant captain material as well. But yeah, watching him today, I didn't, other than the fact that I was like, yeah, okay, this guy's going to be just so much fun to just be at Rogers Arena and watch. Didn't really stand out too much to me. And then lastly, as far as defensemen go, we'll talk about the guy that I'm sure everyone was there to see, everyone who wants to know my opinion of, since I think so highly of him, Quinn Hughes. Now, honestly, it looked like he just wasn't trying too hard out there, which I kind of understand. He's coming off the flu. He really doesn't have anything to prove. And when it's in a game situation like that, where it goes 5-on-5, 4-on-4, 3-on-3, not a lot of systems, and you kind of don't want to get hurt or anything, like, it wasn't his best game, but you definitely saw flashes. Like, every time he had the puck, you saw why he was a first-round pick. Well, I guess I'll start with his defensive game. It reaffirmed a lot of my things that I do like about his defensive game, and a lot of things that I know needs work in his defensive game. I'll start with what I like. He has great gap control. I think he challenges players really, really well, and his skating allows him to get back into position, and also close the gap effectively, and he has a great reach, even though he has a short stick. So I definitely enjoyed watching him defend off of the rush, especially when guys would try to get around him. He wouldn't lose any speed as he transitions from backwards to forward skating. So that was really nice to see. I also saw him win a couple puck battles along the boards using his stick play. But the thing that, the thing that kind of bugged me was that, and it's not an awful thing. You can't draw too many conclusions from just a Canucks Summer Showcase game. But he just looked kind of lackadaisical in his own end, just nonchalant. One goal that was scored on him, the puck was below the goal line, and it was his man, and he just kind of half-heartedly, with one hand on the stick, other hand at his side, just glided toward him with the stick kind of outreached, and the guy threaded the needle right through Hughes and found the guy right in front in the slot, which is, again, it's the Summer Showcase. Like, yeah, it would have been nice to see him be engaged a bit more defensively, but I understand, especially if he's still coming off of a cold, or from a flu, which it definitely looked like he did. I honestly think he was going 50% today, and he still looked like one of the most exciting, better players out there on the ice. And when he did touch the puck, yeah, man, just watching him skate, watching him build up speed, watching him delay in his own zone to get out to break away from forecheckers, it's unreal. Whether he's curling on his backhand or on his forehand. Me personally, I believe it's harder to make a tight curl and build up speed on your forehand, just because it's easier to lean weight on your backhand. That's at least for me. And I think that's common. I'm not too sure. But for me, when I'm watching Hughes, he builds up speed off of his turns, off of his tight turns with both hands, going both-handedness, going on his forehand and backhand. And that's very, very impressive. He was also he was coolly just skating some circles and then saucing a puck up ice, like, just very casually, which is why, again, like, if he was going 100%, I think, man, the Canucks fans would have definitely seen what all the hype was about. I don't think he left a sour taste in any Canucks fans' mouth. There was... Again, he was also very, very good at bringing the puck up the ice and breaking into the neutral zone. And he showed off some of his shiftiness, where he would... some good stick handling with the puck, where he'd shift his head back and forth, kind of to fake out defenders and then go one way, then the other way. So you see flashes of that. And there was one play in particular where he was on the right, coming in off the right wing, cut into the middle, and then he deked through a guy's legs, and then he cut through the slot, deked through a defender's legs, got the puck behind the defender, and then made a no-look behind the back pass to a trailer cutting into the cutting back door, which just barely got broken up by the defender, and that would have been just a crazy play. So yeah, Hughes is Hughes. Again, not his strongest performance, but again, I don't blame him. I really only think he was going 50%, guys. Like, and even then, him going 50%, he's one of the better players out there on the ice, save for maybe Rathbone on defense. But yeah, like, Quinn Hughes, I'm excited for that. Already, like, just watching him play in real life, you really appreciate the way he skates. It's effortless. Like, he's going to tire out forecheckers just by how many turns and just the way he thinks the game, and he seems to he doesn't lose energy. He doesn't lose energy when he skates. Like, if anything, he's recharging when he's skating. It's unbelievable to watch. It's too bad he got the flu early on, and I really don't think he was 100%, and I really don't think he was trying 100%. He scored a nice shootout goal at the end there as well. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Quinn Hughes. Oh man, it's getting really dark out. Okay. Better, kind of. Lastly, we'll talk about goaltenders, Michael Dipietro and Matthew Thiessen. I was behind the net for the blue side, which was Michael Dipietro. So I didn't really get a chance to see much of Matthew Thiessen. I think he made a couple really nice cross ice saves. He's another guy I'm interested in just because it sounds like he has the right mental makeup for a goalie from what some of the stories that I've already heard from him there was one really good article from Jason Botchford who interviewed his old goalie coach. And it sounds like he's a good foundational positional goaltender, which is really all you could ask for out of an NCAA goaltender in the 7th round. A good head, a good positionally, and malleable. The rest is really just going to come with development in his 4 years at NCAA. And it sounds like he's going to, I forget what school it is, but he already has a rapport with the goalie coach there, so hopefully he'll make some strides in the NCAA. Michael Dipietro, man, he is small in the net. Like, 6 feet might even be a generous 6 feet. But his game really does remind me of Jonathan Quick. He likes to hug the post in the same way that Quick does. I believe it's called the reverse VH. I won't get into that right now, just because I don't want to get too technical. Man, I say that and then I come off sounding condescending, and I don't mean that. I don't know enough about goaltending either. It's just, I guess I gotta say it now. I'd rather show it with a picture. I will, maybe in another time when I talk about Michael Dipietro, I'll get more into what a reverse VH is. But it's just, briefly, it's the way that goalies hug the post these days. And Jonathan Quick does it a lot. That's his go-to move when he's hugging the post. And Michael Dipietro has that same tendency. He's very, very athletic. Reads the play really well. He's aggressive. He competes. But man, yeah, he's small, and he got beat a couple times up high and the cross crease from that Palmu goal as well. So yeah, I do really like Michael Dipietro though. He made some great saves. He's athletic. He seems like a really good guy too. Good head on his shoulders. I have hope for him there that he'll have another great season with the Windsor Spitfires, and hopefully will lead Team Canada to glory at the World Junior Championships in Vancouver. That would be great. Watching Michael Dipietro, potentially Quinn Hughes, Toni Utunen, maybe Tyler Madden, Jett Woo in next year at the World Junior Championships. I mean, Canucks fans, we have a lot to be excited for, especially about going into this year's training camp with all of the question marks we have. So with that, I think I'll wrap it up. Some new videos coming out. I haven't even touched the free agency stuff yet. I'm not going to get started on it in this video. That'll be a 2-parter talking about Beagle, Roussel, and Schaller. And then some more prospect stuff. lots more Canucks stuff, and maybe we'll start to get into the 2019 draft as well, because it's never too early to start talking about next year's prospects. Thank you to Ben for being so nice. Honestly, like, Ben, if you're watching this, I don't know if you're still watching this. I've been rambling on in my car for about 20-30 minutes now. But as my first ever interaction with someone who's watched one of my videos, Ben, you're a beauty. Thank you very much for making that first time pleasant. Good luck in your endeavors at UBC. And then to the other young man, I'm not that old either. To the other guy that I saw at Gate 3 who recognized me, thank you for that as well. Both of you guys made my day. To CanuckClay, founding member of the Good Looking Canucks Positivity Club. It was great being able to meet you in person, in flesh. Hope to interact with you more online and in person, and hopefully we can get a collab going. To my buddy Brendan, thanks for coming out and watching. Let me know down in the comments if you liked these vlog styles, even though I didn't vlog too much of this. I'm sorry, I kind of forgot about it, / wasn't really open to vlogging once I got there, since there was a lot of people. It's not really my style. Hopefully I'll get more comfortable with that as time goes on. Plus, I wasn't able to bring my tripod in that I was able to use as like a selfie stick, so I just wasn't really feeling it. Anyways, with that, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Had a great time. Hopefully you took away some interesting things that I noticed at today's Canucks Summer Showcase. And with that, I will see you guys next time.